Thundurus, specifically its incarnate form, has been one of the most relevant Pokemon in VGC history since its introduction in Black and White. Despite its high special attack, speed, and nasty plot, it has seen the most usage in that of a support role, not a sweeper role. Its ability Prankster grants it priority to any status move it uses, of which Thundurus has plenty to pick from. Status moves such as Thunder Wave, Rain Dance, Swagger, Taunt, Substitute, and more recently Scary Face and Eerie Impulse have all been used on Thundurus at some point. Its valuable supportive options made it an easy Pokemon to add to almost any type of team. From 2011 to 2016, excluding 2014 as it was illegal in that format, it was impossible to escape from Thundurus' presence in the metagame. Because of the grip Thundurus held on the official competitive circuit, multiple indirect nerfs would be implemented across multiple generations, as it would prove to be an unhealthy Pokemon to play against. The most important move in this discussion is Thunder Wave. At the time of Thundurus' release, Thunder Wave had 100% accuracy, Paralysis lowered speed by 75%, and it was able to be used on electric-type Pokemon. This made Thundurus incredibly valuable as a speed control option. Unless you were a ground type or protected by Lightning Rod, any fast Pokemon would be crippled for the rest of the game. This combined with Paralysis' own 25% chance to stop you for the turn made it both a powerful and annoying status condition to deal with. Since Prankster was able to ignore any speed modifiers like Tailwind or Trick Room, it was easy for it to stay on the field and spam this move before getting knocked out. Prankster was also valuable here as it made Taunt harder to use versus it. Unless the Taunt user also had Prankster and was faster than Thundurus, it would always be guaranteed at least one Thunder Wave before being shut down. As a way to counteract this, starting in Generation 6, there was a nerf. Electric-type Pokemon would become immune to Paralysis, but this would not stop Thundurus very much, and it would continue to dominate the formats it was allowed in. 2015 is infamously remembered for Chalk's dominance at the World Championships. That is Cresselia, Heatran, Amoonguss, Landorus T, and Kangaskhan. But if you were to ask any player who played at the time, there is another thing that the format is remembered for: Thunder Wave and Swagger. Thundurus continued to be a widely used Pokemon as Thunder Wave was just as useful as before despite its small nerf. In fact, you could say that Thunder Wave was even better than before because now the introduction of Mega Evolutions increased the power level of the format, and it was more important than ever to shut down these powerful Pokemon. Also, Swagger would begin to pick up usage as a second disruption tool. With Confusion, Swagger on a target made it a coin flip if they were able to move for the turn or not. Spamming Thunder Wave and Swagger would become a valid win condition if you were at a disadvantage, and even in a neutral or positive state, it was never not a valid game plan to simply spam those moves and hope to get lucky enough. In 2015, it was used in the US Nationals Finals and the World Championships, proving such luck-based strategies could be used at even the highest levels of gameplay. This was problematic, and while 2016 would see a decrease in Swagger usage, Thundurus itself remained popular and had done enough by this point to force Gamefreak's hand. It would be in Generation 7 when many nerfs would come Thundurus' way. Paralysis would now only decrease speed by 50%, and Thunder Wave was nerfed to having 90% accuracy. Swagger decreased to 85% accuracy, and Confusion had a reduced chance of hitting yourself at 33%. Prankster itself was also changed and was now blocked by having a dark typing. It was clear Gamefreak wanted to reduce how easy it was to spam moves with Prankster. Generation 7 also introduced the Tapu Pokemon, all incredibly viable legendary Pokemon with their abilities to set terrain. While terrain did exist in Generation 6, there was no way to automatically set them and they were never relevant. But now they were attached to these strong Pokemon and almost every match would have some sort of terrain in them. This is important because Misty Terrain would block status conditions and Psychic Terrain would block priority moves, two very obvious counters to what Thundurus was known for doing. Having these conditions tied to Pokemon meant to be competitively viable was likely another way Game Freak ensured such strategies revolving around chance would never be relevant again. Thundurus would go on to be very rarely used in the Generation 7 formats it was legal in. The combination of all these new changes and stiff competition from the newly introduced Tapu Koko gave very little reason to be using Thundurus on your team. In Generation 8, Thundurus became a top tier meta threat once again, but this time in the form of a physical attacker with Dynamax to be used with its Defiant ability. Support Thundurus is still sometimes seen thanks to its valuable new move in Eerie Impulse, but it's nowhere near close to the amount of usage it saw in its heyday. Ultimately, this is one of the best examples of how a single Pokemon's use in competitive play would go on to impact future games in Pokemon. Thundurus would prove just how powerful an ability like Prankster could be, and just how unhealthy a Pokemon could be if given the right moveset. Do you like VGC content? This is my first video about VGC, so let me know down in the comments below what you think, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more VGC content.